This is how AG1 works to up.
We don't sleep to dream, we sleep to build stamina. Energy to do our thing, get your camera. This show is about to begin, so sit down and buckle it in. Let's go!
Welcome to Friday. You are watching the very first episode, the very first live show of the year for us. This amazing Unleashed Friday at 10 a.m. My name is Brian. That is Shane. Hello, my brother. How was the mountains?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I got lost up in the mountains. So sorry. We were going to have a show on Wednesday, but I got stuck up in the mountains. So believe it or not, I didn't realize it was actually snowing in Yosemite, and decided to travel through there and nearly got stuck in the snow. So it was an interesting time, but I'm back. I'm safe, and I'm ready to do this because 2024 is going to be awesome. And so glad you guys are here with us. Shout out to No Money G, who got who finally got Penny into the memberships by gifting her a pop culture membership. So
welcome, Penny.
Glad you're back in, Penny.
And thank you, No Money G. Okay, listen, it is going to be an interesting show today. First off, we are talking about our most anticipated movies of 2024. And surprise, surprise, our lists are definitely different.
Oh, yeah. If you haven't watched the show before, you should know that. Or you shouldn't know that, but you would.
Yeah, they're pretty different. And so you're going to get a lot of flavor today. And I did my research on every one of these movies. You know what's funny is I had a movie that was not on my list that actually is on my list now when I learned what the premise was. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Interesting.
That's fair. Yeah.
Because the title of it was like, who wants to watch that? Also, we're talking about a little bit. I just want to bring up the fact that this feels like sort of a make or break for it kind of a year for Disney. Disney has not been doing well for almost 3 years now. They've been failing pretty consistently. And I think that they need wins, or they're going to have to completely change up their game. And who knows how long they can last, or at least that this division of their entertainment empire can last, continually taking L's every single time they release a movie.
Yeah, they lost a lot of money this year, Brian. I mean, the only movies that broke even, I think, were for certain was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, perhaps Elemental. They just didn't have a bad year. And if they continue to go down like they do this year, they're going to have to do something, because stockholders will only allow this to happen for so long. They happen to have so many arms of services with all of their vacation things and all of their
parks, hotels,
and streaming service, which Disney Plus still making money because they've stopped making new new stuff.
Yeah. By the way, every
Um,
time someone tells me that these streaming services are losing money, I'm like, if they're losing money, then I feel like they're doing it wrong because there's.
I think they're padding the books. I think there's a lot of book padding.
I cannot figure out how Disney Plus would be losing money. Like, I know what server hosting costs. I know what it costs to stream video.
It's the cost of making the productions. That's the only thing that would cause them to lose money.
Right.
So if they're spending Amazon $1 billion to make something, there's potential to lose money there. But when it comes to Disney, yeah, there's hey, listen, everybody with a kid has a Disney Plus account. So, there's that there. But here's the thing. They can continue to fail for a bit, is what I'm saying, at the theater.
Right.
But I do think that this year is a make or break. They have quite a few projects coming out this year that I'm sure some will be on our list. I think maybe. And if they don't do well, then and we need to see a turnaround with Disney. Disney needs to realize, after watching Apple TV, I've been watching a lot of Apple TV. I don't even like Apple products.
No.
And I was very hesitant, as everybody here knows, I was hesitant to even watch Apple shows because I just don't like Apple. Okay.
Yeah, he literally couldn't log in for like 6 months. He couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
It was like, "What's your Apple ID?" He goes, "I don't have an Apple ID."
I'm literally I had an Apple ID, but the I couldn't charge anything. Anyways, it's complicated.
Now you're using mine,
Brian's login, right? Thank you, by the way. It's the greatest gift you've ever given me.
And it's the only reason I kept this subscription. When I was canceling all my other subscriptions I am still broke, but when I was really, really broke at the end of November, I kept that one because you and my roommate really like Apple Plus, and it's cheap. So
yeah. And so, for example, I didn't know what the heck to watch recently. So I happened to turn on Apple TV last night, and I'm watching the new show. It's called the Big Box TV show or something. The Big Prize or something. What's it called? The Big Prize.
Well, you looked that up. I literally got Apple TV just to watch Mythic Quest.
The Big Door Prize.
And it was worth every penny.
I'm watching the Big Door Prize last night, and it's just perfect science fiction, dude. It's like it's about a small town forever changed when a mystery machine just appears, promising to reveal everyone's true potential. And I'm start watching the show, and I'm like, no other streaming service is making shows like this. I don't understand why Apple just isn't killing streaming. So if Disney at some point is getting back to the point, Disney at some point is going to have to realize that they need to change. And if anybody would just pay a little bit of attention to Apple, they'd realize these guys are making incredible shows, bam after bam after bam, from For All Mankind, Silo, all these shows are fantastic.
You know why they're not killing it in subscribers? I'll tell you why. They're not.
It's hard.
Well, yeah, man, it's hard, sure, but they're also not advertising it outside of their own customer base. Like, do you see a lot of Apple TV, everywhere? Like, I was told by one of the people here watching, I think it was one of you guys here, about Mythic Quest. I only got it because I was told by someone. It was literally word of mouth, like it's 1998 or something.
Yeah, I definitely, as somebody mentioned here, the Apple cult. I don't buy anything Apple, and but I had to check into these shows, and they're doing Apple TV right. So I will say that's my pitch for that. And so Disney, get on board, watch some Apple TV, make shows like that.
Listen, guys,
you'll see resurgence.
I still have a Samsung Note 7. Okay, like they recalled these things because they blew up on planes. Let me tell you something. It has been years. I mean,
it's a good thing you don't fly.
Years. I don't fly. It's been years and years and years. And not only has it not blown up, it's not even gotten hot. And you know what? It's still working, man. Can I afford a new phone? At some point I could have, sure. But I don't need one because it's not an Apple product where they just randomly drop updates to make sure your battery doesn't work. Sorry, not sorry. All right. Listen, we are going to be talking about top 50, our top most anticipated movies. And we have a killer weekly weird this week. A great weekly weird. It's actually pretty hilarious. And it also involves movies, so it's going to be an easy transition. So let's start at the list. Now, this list is not like top 10. We're not going down.
It is. No, it is a top 10. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, absolutely. 10 to 1.
I did it by month of release.
Oh, no. I did it top 10
well,
anticipated releases, like we talked about on the
He
phone
did top 10. I did monthly release, so it's gonna be a very interesting show.
How's that going to work? That's not going to work. Okay.
I don't know why I did it that way.
In order.
I did it that way because that's what's coming out. Like
no, it's supposed to be though
anticipation.
Your anticipation. What are you most anticipated about coming out? Not what's the 10 movies coming out in the next 10 months.
Look,
You know
I know it was easy for you because your most anticipated film of the year is Mean Girls, and it comes out next week. But listen, it's not
Mean
fair.
Girls. No. Inside Out 2. That was it. Because the teenage emotions are there. Actually, that didn't make the list.
That didn't make the list.
Yeah.
By the way, Mean Girls almost made my list because I'm like, I mean, pretty girls singing songs. I was like, wait a minute, singing songs. Nope.
No, yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, I don't care how hot you are. It's not gonna take me away from hating the singing song portion of that. So even though I like the original, I still like the original.
Got
it. Was funny.
Well, let's try to do some sort of try to put yours in some sort of order if you can, or talk about 10 of them. I'm gonna come in with number 10 here and maybe talk about it. Maybe you can kind of just.
All right, what's your 10?
How you want to do? So number 10 for me is the untitled Karate Kid movie. So if you guys didn't know it, in 2024, there's another Karate Kid movie coming out. But who's it going to be this time? Is it going to be Jackie Chan? Is it going to be Ralph Macchio? Is it going to be somebody new? Oh no, it's going to be Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio coming out with the same movie, directed by Rob Lieber. The movie comes out December 13th, and I got to tell you, we have no idea what it's going to be about because there's no title. It's an untitled movie. We have no idea what the story is going to be about. It could be complete and utter shit.
Ralph Macchio's in it?
Yes, Ralph Macchio's in it.
So
believe it or not,
I'm assuming Jaden Smith isn't in it then.
He has not been attached to it yet.
Thank God.
Oh, but God. Jackie Chan, who played Mr. Miyagi in his version.
Yeah.
Mr. Han, right. He was the Mr. Miyagi character. So I'm just totally intrigued. I absolutely loved the Karate Kid TV series. And I just want to see this. So for anticipation purposes, it could be complete shit. I have no idea what these two very old men are going to do in this movie. I'm sure they'll be somehow training some other new, young, upcoming kid or something. But it's an anticipated movie for me, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. So,
all right. So I guess I should just give you my my
least anticipated. There you go. Least to most. There you go.
Yeah, my least anticipated movie. Okay.
Yeah.
Then my least anticipated movie is probably, and only because I don't know anything about it, I'm going to say Roadhouse, coming out in March.
That almost made my list, man. That's not a movie release. That is an Amazon Prime release.
I mean,
or not a theatrical release.
I love the original Roadhouse. I love me some Patrick Swayze.
Yes.
You know how I feel about Jake Gyllenhaal. I think he literally he might have a touch of Downs.
What? Down? Did you say Downs?
Yeah, I can't figure it out. I don't want to talk a lot of trash on the guy.
No. You need to explain why you think that's the case. This is the first time I've ever heard this.
Well, I can tell you why. He looks like he has a touch of Downs. Like he has this. His eyes are too close together.
Down syndrome, right?
Yeah, Down syndrome.
Okay.
And I'm not talking trash on Down syndrome people. Don't get me wrong.
But all Down syndrome people look a certain way. So I get what you're saying. Go ahead.
Right. And Jake Gyllenhaal looks like he has just a peppering, if you will, of Down syndrome.
Seen that? Have you looked at his sister Maggie?
Oh, Maggie looks like, okay, so if he has a peppering, someone unscrewed the cap on the pepper bottle when they made her.
Yes, absolutely.
But on that same note,
but you kind of make it sound like that's not a good thing.
Well, no, it's not a good thing. But
because you look like a bunch of other people, I got it.
Yeah,
I'm pushing you into the corner here, and
you sorry. You need to back off, bro. Listen. Look. I was not a fan of Jake Gyllenhaal for the longest time. The longest time. I didn't appreciate his.
You didn't like him in The Notebook? What?
Didn't like him in The Notebook. I had zero interest in that. I don't know why everyone liked it. I was confused. Brokeback Mountain. As much as I think it's it's a hilarious joke when on Saturday show when we call myself non-binary, blah blah blah. I actually don't like men's parts. Not that that's bad. You can like whoever you want, but it's not for me. So like when that movie came out, everyone was talking about how it's some kind of like awesome movie. I'm like, what? I didn't get it. I didn't understand why anyone thought that movie was awesome. I didn't like any of his movies. And then I saw a little movie that came out last year, the year before last. It was called Ambulance.
Okay.
And no one liked the movie. It wasn't like some raging hit or something like that. But I liked it. And it had that guy from Aquaman, how do you say his name? Yaya Alba Martin, blah blah blah.
You mean the Mantis guy?
The Mantis guy, Manta, Black Manta.
Yeah, Abdul Abdeen.
Yeah, him.
Keep going.
So it had him and Jake Gyllenhaal, and Yaya played basically like the good guy. They were brothers, and they weren't like actual like biological brothers, but they grew up like together, so they just worked like brothers. And Jake Gyllenhaal played this character that was charming, diabolical, a mastermind. Just like you never rooted for the bad guy to win as much as you did. And I guess I can just kill the movie. He's the bad guy. He was awesome. He was awesome. I'm watching this movie, and he's just effortlessly like moving his way through this movie. Everyone else seemed to be struggling to keep up with Jake Gyllenhaal, and I'm like, shit. I think I get it. I think I figured out why people like him. Because like what I'm saying, if people see a portion of that in every one of his movies, and maybe I'm not paying close enough attention, this guy's a good freaking actor, man, and he really knocked it out of the park in that sort of like rough and tumble role. And I think the older he gets, the more he like fits into that, less of the boy toy on the mountain and more of the roadhouse guy, you know?
Well, he had this competition thing going with Ryan Gosling, and now he's become like the Wish version of Ryan Gosling. You
I think it's the more manually version of Ryan Gosling.
But the thing is his roles haven't come out like he hasn't become the great sought after actor like others, perhaps because of some of the things that he chose.
He was good in Far From Home, Spider-Man Far From Home too. Like he was good Mysterio.
He was good Mysterio. He was great in Nightcrawler, fantastic in Donnie Darko.
Yeah, Donnie Darko. Which one of those movies that everyone tells me how great it is, and I'm like, yeah, it's okay.
But he likes to play dark stuff.
Yeah,
and that there's a place for that, and I enjoy some of those movies. But
Southpaw.
It's keeping him.
That was the movie.
Yeah.
That was a good movie too.
Which was dark, and
Super dark.
He's a good actor, but he's kind of happy just floating in this sub A class acting status, I believe. Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
All
So
right.
that's my number 10, only because I know nothing about it, but I love the original Roadhouse, and I'm slowly falling in love.
I just hope there's a couple of scenes that got me through my teenage years.
I know what you're talking. Are we on the same page here? 'Cause that's usually my line.
I mean, I hope so, because Roadhouse is one of those movies that you paused a lot on VHS.
Yeah. You paused it enough for your VHS tape to start wearing out a little bit in those areas.
Yeah, the parents were like, "Why is it
keep skipping?" I don't know.
I don't know what's going on here.
I mean, listen, in 2024, I doubt we're gonna have a whole lot of that, because like for some reason everyone is so dead set against any kind of sexuality that's not some kind of statement. Like you can't have sexuality in a movie unless it's making like some kind of societal statement about fascist or something. It's like, can we just have a hot chick in a movie? Why is it so hard?
Well, because women will not be controlled, and men aren't going to women will not be men play things. Women, and they are in that movie. So we'll see how it turns out.
I mean, we just talked about Brokeback Mountain. Like if that movie wasn't made for women,
that's an old movie.
I don't know what was.
It's an old movie.
I mean, how about Magic Mike?
It wasn't made for
XXL?
women. Are you kidding me?
I mean, it was made for gays, but it was awesome.
It was made to shock the shit out of everybody.
It was definitely made for women too. Like think about it, a couple hot guys.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think girls go look gay dudes awesome? No, they don't. Girls do not like watching dudes make out.
I honestly don't know.
We have one woman in the chat two, Jennifer and Penny. Tell us
Did
if you
you
like
guys,
to watch men make out.
Did you guys like Brokeback Mountain?
Ridiculous. I mean,
Did you guys
some
like
people
it?
might like the acting, but I'm sorry. I don't think anybody dug that. Anyways, let's move on from that to number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9. The fuck we end up on this stuff?
You
Number
talked
9.
about Roadhouse, dude.
You did. You brought up Roadhouse.
All I'm saying is if they made
It's
a
your number
female
10.
version of Brokeback Mountain, I would have it on Steelbook.
Yeah, but that's different. Guys have a fantasy about gay girls or lesbians.
Actually, I think they did make that one.
No. If you saw real lesbians making out, I believe you would think differently.
No, they made that movie. It was called Black Swan, and I was like, oh. I sat through this entire movie for this 1.5 minutes. Come on.
Number 9, 1.5 minutes. That's great. Number 9, Furiosa. I am anticipatorily looking forward to Furiosa, and I know that it is being shellacked in our community as being a where is the Mad Max stuff. But let me tell you why I am anticipating this movie. And now that I realize, Brian, that I should have given you the list in advance so you could pull up graphics while we're talking.
I'm like furiously trying to find stuff now. Thanks, man.
Sorry, man. I apologize.
Furiosa,
I'll try to talk.
I got it. Go ahead.
Why am I anticipating this movie? Couple reasons you might as well. First off, Chris Hemsworth is in it, and I am very curious to see Chris Hemsworth do anything that is not Thor, which has me intrigued. But also, I really like Anya Taylor-Joy, and there's something about this actress that I enjoy her performances. She has this compelling. I don't know if it's the big eyes. I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm very curious to see what she does. But more importantly than that, those aren't the reasons why it should be the most anticipated film. The reason why is because the director of this movie is George Miller, and he is the writer for Mad Max 1979. So he wrote Mad Max. He was an uncredited writer on The Road Warrior, the second movie, and he was a producer for Mad Max Fury Road, which we would all agree all 3 movies are very good. So I understand that people are tired of not having a Mad Max centered movie, but we've yet to be disappointed, I believe. And I think that we need to give it its fair share. Now, it may come out and we may say this is terrible, but I just got a feeling that the guy who's been plugged into the series from the beginning is going to continue being true to the IP. And that has me curious at number 9.
All right. I mean, that's fair. Mad Max didn't make my list as much as I want to be like, oh, super excited about it. To be honest, I wasn't excited for Fury Road until I saw it, and then I was like, oh yeah, it's a good movie. I wasn't like hyped about it because I knew that Charlize Theron was going to be the biggest part of the movie, and my favorite character in the Mad Max movies is Mad Max. Now I liked Fury Road.
Yeah, which makes sense.
But I also hate prequels. And you know what I hate more than prequels, you guys? Prequels of prequels.
Pre-prequels.
I hate pre-prequels. It's like an inception of lack of talent. It's a constant going back in time.
Fair. Lack of talent.
I'm not talking about this.
An inception of lack of talent.
I'm not talking about this in particular. I haven't seen it, obviously. George Miller is a mastermind, for sure. But when you can only go backwards in your storytelling, that's because you don't know how to go forwards anymore. Shane, what if I told you, hey, you're writing the next script for that big history we got going on. I want you to, instead of writing the script for the history, write about writing the script for the history.
I could do that.
Yeah, I know you can.
When I first sat down to write the history,
ChatGPT, anyone could do it.
No, ChatGPT. Fuck ChatGPT.
I don't think it's very hard to never go forward and tell your story and just continually go backwards in time. I think it's actually cowardly to constantly go back in time and not have the intestinal fortitude to continue the story.
To some degree there is, but there is a level of curiosity. One of the items on this list, I'm not going to mention it. There's an incredible curiosity to see the beginning of a story. And I'm not sure that that's here. But also you have to think, when the second Mad Max movie ends, you got to say to yourself, well, what happens to Mad Max now? Why wasn't there a third movie made, a reasonable third movie made back at the time? So you're taking a big risk by moving forward as well. So I don't know. Maybe it is cowardly, but he didn't go wrong with the first prequel. Let's give him a shot at the second one.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. It didn't make my list for the same reason I think that Fury Road didn't make my mental list last time.
That's fair.
And I'll tell you this right now. I desperately hope that I'm wrong and that it's another hit. But then when it's a hit, I'm being optimistic. When it's a hit, I'm hoping that they give George Miller the reins and say, okay, make a Mad Max movie.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And maybe they're heading that direction. Maybe Chris Hemsworth is going to do something incredible. I think
he's playing like Joe the Immortal Morton or whatever it's called.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's not playing Mad Max.
Really?
And he's playing Joe.
Oh, he's playing Dementus. You're right.
Is that the right person?
Oh, he's playing Dementus. Huh. Okay. Well, that is interesting. Well, we'll see what happens. Now who the hell's playing? All right. Well, we'll see what happens.
Now, this next movie, the movie that's on my list is number 9. It was gonna be this movie, but before I need to know something. Is the Alien movie, which is now titled Alien Romulus, is it a prequel?
Alien Romulus, I read was a prequel. Or no, I read it was a reboot.
Okay. So
let's
if it's a real reboot,
it's considered a standalone is what they're calling it.
No. All right, it's not making my list. I'm sorry. There's something's fishy about that.
There's something fishy about it.
It is something fishy about it. I'm tired of this.
Sorry. It is set between Alien and Aliens.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So
according to one of the stars, it's set between Alien and Aliens. And here's my issue with that. Now, so what happened between Alien and Aliens, right? Fucking Sigourney Weaver is asleep.
Right.
So they're apparently not going to, they're obviously not going to have the Ellen Ripley character.
No.
In this movie. So it isn't a reboot, which I think is good. I'm glad they're not rebooting it. But at the same time, what can you do with it between those two movies? The reason why the second movie was so great was because you didn't realize the full level of, terror in these creatures. And, that it makes the second movie so perfect. So in your case, having a prequel in this is what I would call cowardly. Why would you explore this time frame? Unless they're going to explore, we've already done the Prometheus thing. We've already done, all that stuff. So this is a movie where you almost can't make something anymore. Like they should just stop making alien movies.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go.
But you can go forward. You can. If you got the right writer, you could. For sure.
It's just, to me, I don't find it that interesting to go forward. Where do you go?
Then
what's happening that far into the future that matters?
Then let's reboot.
Or we just leave it alone.
Or you know what?
I'll go back and watch the originals.
Or Mr. Scott, just make another franchise.
Yeah, go do something else.
Do something new.
Yeah. This year he's got another, yeah.
Okay, so number 9 on my list.
So that wasn't even on the list, guys, and we talked about it. Fantastic.
No, yeah, it was going to be on the list, but then it's a prequel. And then I was like, what about this movie? Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. But no, it's a prequel. So off. Bye-bye.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is not.
It's not?
No, they move forward.
Yeah, but it's still connected to the original movies. That's what you told me.
It is, but it's moving forward in time. It's past. It's later into the time frame. This has never been explored before. This is totally new territory for the Planet of the Apes. We're further in the timeline than the original movie. So it's after Battle for the Planet of the Apes.
Okay, so because my brain is too small to understand what you're saying, it's not going to be on the list.
Okay, but it is. It's actually not on my list either. So, but it is. It looks interesting. I will say it doesn't have me totally intrigued because I don't know where they're going to go next. But a little intrigued, a little bit.
Okay.
Everything couldn't be on the list.
Yeah, obviously not. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. All right, my next one, my number 9. And this is purely because I am a sadist. I want you to know that. The reason this is number 9 on my list is not because I am excited to see it. It's because I'm excited to see it fail.
Why? What?
Because first off, there shouldn't have never been a 4th movie.
Agreed. There shouldn't have been a 3rd one either.
And if there was a 4th movie, the 3rd movie shouldn't have been called Bad Boys for Life. Okay?
Stop. It's
Let's
all
be
about
real.
You're pissed about the
I
title.
am pissed about the title because it's so fucking stupid, dude.
You're pissed about the
The
title.
only thing as stupid as this is the way Fast and Furious titles their movies. They can't pick a lane. It's like The Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, Fast and Furious. No, the
Tokyo
Fast 5, Furious 7. Dude, come on, guys. And then after all these different ways of naming your titles, then they start using Roman numerals when they finally get to 10. Pick a structure and roll with it. Dude, my kid the other day, my kid loves the Fast and Furious movies. And I feel like I made a mistake by introducing her to these movies. Because at first I was like, awesome. My kid loves these movies. We're watching
We can do this together.
Yeah, we're watching the first Fast and Furious movie. She's into it. We watched the second one. That was, that she was into that. We watched it in chronological order, right? So it means we watched Tokyo Drift at a certain time.
My personal favorite.
And it was her personal favorite too. She loved the kids. And when she saw Vin Diesel at the end of it, she like lost her mind. She's like, yeah!
Oh yeah.
Loving it, bro. Loves every minute of it. She likes the spin-off. She loves these movies. I ended up having to buy them all on Vudu because they were moving around streaming services so much that she was getting frustrated trying to find it. So I bought like the Fast and Furious pack. Actually, I got the ultimate octane. I was like, what's it called? Like the juice they put in their car. It's called NOS. I got the NOS pack, yeah. And it comes in like this cool case and it has all the digital codes. So, anyways, I watched this movie and I realized that when I'm watching number 10, I don't know. I should be teaching my daughter to like more artistic shit.
She's a chip off the old block, bro.
No, but I like artistic stuff too. Sometimes I'm in the mood for something stupid and fun.
But she's a kid still, so
she is really loving all the stupid fun shit. And like the second I mentioned Star Trek, she literally curls up into her shell like a turtle.
Because you're trying to fool them at this point. They see the trick coming.
And then we watched the first Bad Boys movies, and she was like, "Oh, this is cool. It's like Fast and Furious." I'm like, "Oh God!" And then she was on TikTok or Twitter or YouTube or something, and she's like, "Dad, Fast and Furious, Bad Boys 4 is coming out." And I'm like, "Fuck, I fucked up." That's what I immediately thought. I made a mistake.
Oh, I gotcha.
So
now that's why you wanted to fail.
I'm excited for this because first off, I don't think there's anywhere else for them to go. They literally ended the story. Also, Will Smith is an absolute pariah right now. He's almost unemployable unless you do a Bad Boys movie. Like,
yeah, he'll just keep doing them.
Unless you did a Bad Boys movie or a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, reunion. There's no other job for him anymore.
And I feel bad for him because
so do I.
Not only I guess him and Jada are getting back together. Is that right? I don't know. I don't follow that shit.
Oh no. They're still together.
Yeah. That's
and
a problem.
What's funny is he goes, I love my wife. Of course, we're gonna work it out, and any problems we have, we'll work out. And you ask her, she's like, "Who the fuck is Will?"
I feel terrible. He is such a cucked man.
He is so cucked.
But he was incredible as King Richard. He literally won an Oscar for a role that he was fantastic in. Will Smith is a great actor and a terrible actor. It's such a weird dichotomy between the way he acts. I love him in so many things, but yet hate him in so many things.
Yeah, no, I liked him in the movie with his kid too. The very first movie his kid did, where he was selling stuff or something like.
Yeah, it's
I'm forgetting the name of the movie, but that movie was inspiring. Oh my god,
Happiness. It's
Pursuit of Happiness.
Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah.
I love that movie. Absolutely.
I saw that movie when I was like literally like selling on a daily basis, and I was inspired by that guy.
That's like a top 25 movie all time for me.
Yeah, it just sucks, man. Anyways, okay. So what's your number 8, bro?
Okay, so wow, that was a road. Okay, for number 8,
that was a road.
We went somewhere. Number 8, I have a movie coming out on June 21st, and you probably heard a little bit of buzz about it. It's called The Bike Riders. Now, I know thinking about it, you're like, oh, The Bike Riders. It's kind of a dumb title for a movie, but it's actually very, very interesting. It stars Austin Butler, who played Elvis Presley, did a fantastic job as Elvis Presley. And this Austin Butler is like the upcoming next great young actor. It also stars Tom Hardy, which you can't go wrong with Tom Hardy, and essentially explores the rise of like the motorcycle club in like the 60s and 70s. And it's going to be interesting because I think the acting is going to be phenomenal. I think there's going to be some it's going to be a character piece, obviously. The plot's going to be very interesting, there's going to be some action in it, but I think the trade-off that you're going to get is really between Austin Butler and Tom Hardy and how that kind of comes across. It's directed by Jeff Nichols. If you ever saw the movie Mud, which had oh man, I just drew a blank. The guy from Dazed and Confused, who got his first role. I can't remember. The guy who does all like the commercials with the Lincoln driving commercials. Matthew McConaughey.
I'm so sorry, guys. My wife had car trouble.
It's a really good movie. That was a good movie, and I'm curious to see what Jeff Nichols can do with The Bike Riders. So,
yeah, I looked up The Bike Riders, bro, and I don't think it's for me. So.
That's fine. It's fine. There's like I was telling these guys, the acting in it I think is going to be phenomenal. You got Austin Butler, you got Tom Hardy. I think there's going to be fireworks on screen, and I'm really looking forward to that. I don't care about the story of the motorcycle club, but I want to see these two guys rub each other. So,
okay. Yeah. So my number 8 is, I'm sorry that I was on the phone right now, you guys. I apologize.
It's okay.
My number 8 is actually a toss up, and I don't know what to do about this. I feel the same way about both these movies. I'm anticipating their continuance, but I also don't really care, but I also anticipate the story. So I just gotta pick one, and I'm literally gonna go like flip of the coin here. Ready? Okay. My number 8 is the Joker 2 movie, and it was up against Godzilla X Kong dropping hot fire mixtapes this summer. So the reason the Joker the Joker 2 movie is my number 8 is only because the first Joker movie was, for me, a total surprise. I did not expect to like it. I'm going to be quite frank, and this is not a popular opinion. I don't like the Matt Reeves stuff, like, at all. Like, it's really dark. Like, not just dark, like dark in tone, but like physically dark. Like, you can't see shit. And it's slow. And, the second I watched the Matt Reeves Batman, I was like, of course, this is a Robert Pattinson Batman. And I was so mad at Shane because he got me so hyped for it. We even made a Batman video for our main channel. Remember that, Shane?
I do, yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, the perfect guy to play Batman. He's a good actor. I saw him in The Lighthouse. I actually watched that movie, and it was so hard to watch. I just wanted to see his ability to act past Twilight, and I saw it. He's a good actor. And then I'm watching this movie, and he just looks like the timid,
I didn't like the Batman either.
Soft-spoken version. It didn't work for me.
I didn't like it. It didn't feel like Batman to me.
So when I saw Joker, finally, I was like, ugh, here we go. More dark bullshit. But dude, it was brilliant. It was a brilliant film. It was not a comic book movie by any stretch of the imagination. And it didn't matter. And so I'm really looking forward to the second movie, simply because Joaquin Phoenix was born to play Joker. And I know I've said that before. Like, dude, Jack Nicholson was born to play Joker. You know, the guy that died, I forgot his name. Heath Ledger was born to play Joker. You know, and I'm going to say it now. Joaquin Phoenix, born to play Joker, dude.
They're getting on you here. They're saying Joker was a prequel, Brian.
Wait a minute. What the fuck are you talking about? A prequel to what?
Yeah, it's before Batman. Remember, Bruce Wayne's a kid.
Yeah, but I don't care. And hold on. And
sorry, I couldn't.
From what I was told, they're not in the same universe.
All right,
even though they're directed by the same person.
It's all right. They're just giving you some shit. It's okay.
I don't care. Okay, the Batman movie sucked. I'm sorry. If you guys liked it, I hope you guys liked it. I'm cool with it. If you like something, like it. I literally couldn't see anything. I'm sitting there in the theater. I look at my wife. I'm like, is it just me? Do I need glasses? I can't see what's happening. Do they need to turn the projector up? What's going on right now? Look, I think this movie is going to be another... First off, I think they're going to finish the story, which is really important to me. I don't think Joaquin Phoenix has a lot of these movies in him.
He won't do a third. It's just not how he rolls.
Right. It's not how he rolls.
I'm shocked he's doing a second one.
So which means
he really loved working with Todd on this movie, though.
Yeah, that's the name. Todd. I keep forgetting his name. They need to wrap it up here because they're not getting the guy back, and if they try to do a third Joker movie with anyone else, it's going to be a complete waste of time. If they try to do a Joker series on Max, it's going to be a complete waste of time. Just wrap up the story here. And if you want to give us another Joker on the way out, that's fine. I don't care. But this needs to be the end of this guy's story. Please.
All right.
And that's what has me excited. That's what makes the number 8 for me.
All right. Number 7 for me. This might come as a bit of a shock to some people, but we'll see. The American Society of Magical Negroes, coming out on March 22nd. And I just wanted to look at Brian's face while I said that. That's right. When I saw the trailer come out for when I saw the title of the movie, I was like, whoa, what's going on? The American Society of Magical Negroes. It stars David Alan Grier and Justice Smith. Justice Smith, you'll remember him from Dungeons and Dragons. He plays the magician who can't quite make magic, right? The wizard, whatever.
Oh, yeah. Black guy.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I had to say that's what
it's like the only black guy in the movie, right?
I don't know. There might be more, but I was trying to avoid using that term. But obviously, a story about the American Society of Magical Negroes is probably going to be the black guy.
I assumed it was the black guy when you said that, and then you said it's the wizard in that movie. Okay, so it's the only other guy that was black. I guess there was another guy that might have been mixed race, but the skinny guy that was funny with this. Yeah, I get it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm trying not to describe people by their race. I've noticed that. That it's, when I'm going around with my kids, I'm like, yeah, the Asian guy or I'm trying not to do that anymore because I just think I'm trying to be better. But anyways, so the American Society of Magical Negroes, which comes out on March 22nd, is directed by Kobe Lebee. Here's a movie that is very interesting because when you watch the trailer, it comes across as extraordinarily racist. Extraordinarily, especially in the beginning of the movie. But I'm hoping that this is a movie that is going to hopefully maybe bring us together. Because in this movie, the main actor actually falls in love with a girl, a white girl, and he's not allowed to essentially, because of the rules of the Magical Negro Society, he's not allowed to fall in love with her.
Right.
But he is. And so I just think this is an opportunity for us to have a conversation about race, but also to maybe talk about moving forward with race as opposed to being stuck in this quicksand that we seem to be stuck in right now in our society. And so it can go one of two ways. And I think at the very least, it's going to create a lot of conversation. And and for that reason, it has me anticipated and I'm intrigued to watch it.
Okay, that's fair. I know nothing about it, but I'm glad it's on your list.
You have no thoughts other than that?
Yeah, I know nothing about it.
I just described it to you.
I understand. It's not the type of movie that I go gaga over, bro. Like, oh,
Yeah.
let's go watch
Let me ask you this question.
based on a true story set in like 100 years ago. Nah, I'm good.
No, it's based now, and it's essentially like an old. So this is what's interesting about it. The Magical Society of Negroes is really old. Like it's magical, and it's been around since like slavery.
So is there magic
Right.
in the movie?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
Like real magic?
yeah,
Oh, that has me more interested.
yeah. It's real magic, and they have these. So here's what I think's interesting.
I thought it
bringing
was
on
like
this-
about like the Negro League or something, bro.
No, dude, this is like it's a magical.
I thought this was like a Shane movie where he's talking about like something that happened in like 1926.
Listen. Aaron is recruited. The Black Wizard
I
is
thought all your
recruited-
flowery language was like how you were describing that.
No, this guy's recruited into a secret society of magical black people who dedicate their lives to a cause of utmost importance. And what's interesting is their thoughts are dated. And I think that that's what's interesting about the movie is all the things he's like, yeah, we don't really talk like that no more. So it's interesting that they're kind of feel like they might be, even though it doesn't seem like it in the trailer. I wonder if they're going to throw shade at the way black people might have looked at society, and going into the future, it might be different, which I think would be better for all of us. So,
Dude, I swear to God, when you were like describing this movie, I thought you were just using like the way they speak when they're marketing something, you know,
Right.
a magical time period and all this.
oh no, it's literally magical Negroes.
Oh, that is more interesting. Although because I didn't know that's what it was about. It didn't make my list. I literally scrolled right past it on the list too.
That's funny. Yeah, he was also in Pikachu, I think, the Pikachu movie.
Yeah, which by the way, I like that movie.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie.
I like that
the
movie.
detective one. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was good. When the Mewtwo came out, it was awesome.
Mm.
Anyways, I'm an old school like Pokemon fan, so I don't like all the new stuff, but the old stuff. I remember when that first movie came out and Mewtwo was like this like godlike being. It was like it just took me back to like the Superman times, you know. All right, my number 7 on the list is actually a movie that I skipped by about 13 times. Every time we've spoken about this year's movies, I kept skipping by this one, bro. And then I finally read the synopsis. Ballerina, the next installment of the John Wick franchise.
Oh, you didn't realize? Yeah, it's a spinoff of John Wick.
I had no idea, and it's starring Ana de Armas, who is one of the most attractive women on the planet. It's insane. Not only is she a good actress, but she's also ridiculously hot. I'm looking forward to this, man. That's all I got to say about it. I didn't even like the last John Wick movie. If I'm being honest, it felt like a lot of repetitive killing. But I like the fact that they've stayed pretty close to the roots, and I like Ana de Armas. So sign me up for another installment in this crazy world that they built off of what was supposed to be a one-off film. Just so you know, John Wick was supposed to be a quick one-and-done blockbuster. It wasn't supposed to be a giant franchise, but it did its job so well, and it built just enough lore to keep people continually interested in more and more, and we actually started a new franchise that's not based on anything else, which is incredible with its own lore, the Continental and everything like that. It has its own lore, its own world.
It's a rare thing, and it needs to be applauded for at least that reason. Yeah, I agree.
Although the last movie, he just kept killing the same people. I was like, didn't you just kill that guy?
Yeah, I lost interest in myself, but Ana de Armas might get me back. Coming in at number 6 for me is Deadpool 3. I never had
I'm shocked it's number 6 on your list.
Well, see, that's the difference between you and I, because I was never really that excited about Deadpool. What got me excited about Deadpool, of course, is Ryan Reynolds. I'm a huge Ryan Reynolds fan, and I was never that interested in Deadpool as a character, or really, I didn't really care. I didn't have anything. Then when the first Deadpool movie came out, and I'm like, oh wow, he's really good. Like this is top notch Ryan Reynolds.
Right.
The thing is, though, is I've seen 2 of these already. I don't know what else Deadpool can do. What makes this movie anticipated for me isn't Deadpool. It really has nothing to do with him. I've seen plenty of Ryan Reynolds-ish movies. I've got my Ryan Reynolds fix right now. I don't need more Ryan Reynolds, but I love more Ryan Reynolds. What has me intrigued is the fact that he was able to get Wolverine to come back.
Yeah,
So,
I'm gonna save my thoughts on this because it's actually.
oh, don't
on
say
my
nothing.
list.
Just don't say nothing. You don't have to say
It's on
nothing.
my list and it's a little higher, but I'm gonna
I know.
explain when we get there. I'm gonna explain to you why you should be anticipating it more.
So Hugh Jackman, I'll just say my portion of it. And
Go
so
ahead.
Hugh Jackman coming back, he said he'd never do it, and he did.
Huge
Which means,
Jackman.
Hugh Jackman,
Sorry, I can't cut out myself.
he's not huge, by the way.
Huge,
I know he's
jacked, man.
Yeah, oh, it's not like that. Okay.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So the fact that he's able to bring him back, the fact that we know Ryan Reynolds doesn't kind of just mail it in, so he's going to bring everything to it. There's going to be lots of cameos, there's lots of, and the possibility, this is the true anticipation, the possibility that it could reset the Marvel universe. That is intriguing, and that's really why it's at number 6 for me. And I'll let Brian talk about more of it later.
Okay. Okay, you son of a bitch. All right.
So that's okay. No, fine. Who you're at 6. That's okay. You had one of mine earlier that is on the list, and I just didn't say anything.
Oh man, I should have kept my mouth shut. What was I doing?
Yeah.
All right. Well, number 6 on my list is something we know very little about, and I gotta say, one reason I'm ridiculously excited about this has nothing to do with the video game, other than because of the video game, I know a little bit of the story. I was not a huge Borderlands fan. I played the game for a little bit, but you know, I've always been very monogamous with Dota. Always been monogamous with Dota. So every game I play is always just wetting my noodle and on my way back to another Dota game. But here's the deal. What I do know about this is it's an extremely rich world in which to work in. If you've ever played games like Fallout or there's not a whole lot of games I can compare it to. Red Dead Redemption.
What's the one where they like Far Cry?
Yeah, Far Cry, sure.
Yeah.
Like these are games that or Mass Effect. Mass Effect is still on my like top 3 of all time games, even though I really only played it. That wasn't a multiplayer game. I played the one walkthrough. But the story is important. And this is one of those games where the story was important, not just the fun stuff, not just the blowing stuff up and there was a story to it. There was characters that you actually grew to like. BioShock, thank you, Drew. BioShock, none of those games. There's like a handful of games over the last maybe like 20 good games over the last 20 years for me that have a story that is just as good as the game itself. This is one of those movies. And have we gotten a movie yet of a game where the story was monumental, where the story was the number one thing? Have we gotten a Mass Effect movie, a BioShock movie, a Far Cry movie, a Fallout movie?
Yeah.
No. Every video game movie we get is based on the popularity of the game, not the lore. And I'm sorry, that's not true. We got a Warcraft movie, but they didn't use any of the fucking Warcraft lore.
No, it wasn't good. And I hate to disappoint you, but I think you may be running into the same problem here. What has me, I don't know shit about Borderlands. I never played it. I don't know anything about it.
Science fiction, number one.
That's cool. But what has me intrigued is, if you can stay back a little bit on that. What has me intrigued is the names at the top of the list. Mm-hmm. Kevin Hart, Cate Blanchett, Jack Black, Jamie Lee Curtis, Ariana Greenblatt. These names are big names. And listen, when you put Kevin Hart and Jack Black in a movie like Jumanji 1, Jumanji 2, right? You got Cate Blanchett, you got some of these people. Now, all of a sudden, you have big stars in a movie. It may be difficult to focus on the story when you have these characters, and you're going to have a hard time at not being pretty hilarious with Kevin Hart in it. So it may not end up being what you want it to be. It's intriguing for me because of the people who are in it, but and I hope for your sake that they actually do something good with the lore and make it about that. That'd be cool.
If they actually do something with the story in that science fiction setting, like this will be another franchise. And again, it'll be a franchise that's not based on something. This
Right.
is this was a fresh franchise when it came out as a game not so long ago, and that will be a fresh franchise when it comes out as a movie.
Well, they could do it like Jumanji, for example. Like even though Jumanji had Robin Williams originally, when they came out with this new one with The Rock and with Kevin Hart, that became a new franchise, and it's
Yeah, but
it
still it still was attached to the original movie, which was cool.
Sort of. Yeah.
No, it was directly attached.
I mean, what I'm saying, it didn't directly go through all that, but it did explore that world more, and it changed it up quite a bit.
True. Yeah. Speaking of Jumanji, one thing that worries me about this movie is those names. It's funny because you're like, these names while I'm watching it. I'm like, well, where is the name that anchors these names? Because all of these people are wonderful, but they're not anchors. Like,
You're right.
They're all spice.
You're right.
Where's the anchor? Where's that main draw?
There's not one.
There isn't one, bro. That worries me. There's a
you're
whole
right.
lot of spice here, not a whole lot of protein.
Yeah, but maybe somebody will surprise us and come out as the anchor.
Maybe. Okay. That's my number 7.
All right, that was number 6.
Number 6, sorry.
Yeah, so, no, that's right. Number 5 for me is a very anticipated movie called Civil War, coming out April 26th.
We both have as number 5.
Okay, that's cool. Hey, we got one that's
the
right.
one that matches.
Most of your stuff was not on my list at all, which is very interesting, and I'm sure vice versa. But I got to tell you, this movie coming out, a movie about a civil war in our country, coming out the year of an election in which there is a kind of a societal civil war occurring, is, I don't know if it's irresponsible. I don't know if it's intentional. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. But
it's 100% intentional.
But all I can tell you is Jesse Plemons is phenomenal. And I don't know why this pudgy little fat motherfucker that doesn't look like he should have any charisma whatsoever commands the screen no matter which movie he's in or whatever he does. But I don't know what it is about the guy, but I freaking love him.
Dude, he's so great. And you see that movie Game Night?
Yes, I did. Yeah, and
he plays like the creepy neighbor.
Yeah,
and he's not even creepy. He's just a nice guy that's misunderstood, and it was so great.
He's great in everything.
Why don't you
everything
ever
he does.
me to Game Night? I don't understand.
Never seen him bad.
What kind of American are you? Oh,
what's up with Nick Offerman being like the Trump guy in like every fucking movie? What's up with that?
So what happened was he in Parks and Rec, he came out as this big libertarian. Yeah. And in his real life, like the guy actually is a libertarian. Or at least he was. And then I think Trump broke his brain, dude. Because he was this big libertarian guy, all about personal freedoms, all about smaller government, etc., no tax, etc. The character he played in Parks and Rec was just an amped up version of his personal beliefs. So it wasn't hard for him.
Well, and even in Last of Us, he plays the gay, hardcore dude.
No, he went hardcore left because it's not just Last of Us, bro. He has now played 4 gay characters in 4 separate franchises.
He's an enigma.
He's trying. I think he's trying to like. Yeah, I think he's
balance
trying to push. Yeah, trying to balance that like hard libertarian stance because people are like, well, he's the guy that likes to build canoes and tell tax guys to f off.
He's always got a red hat on, bro, in all these movies.
Right, and so he's trying. I think he's trying to keep people guessing, just constantly doing some other role that's completely counter to whatever you thought he was in the first place, which is fine. I like Nick Offerman.
I'm very interested to see Kirsten Dunst. It's been a while. See her in something, and I just want to see how they're going to break it down. I mean, it's obviously anticipated because our country is going through something strange right now. It's an A24 film, which, let me tell you, A24 never pulls a punch, and they always do something wicked, twisted. So I'm very much anticipating this movie. Comes out, what did I say here, April 26th, and it's either going to be really great or it's going to be, what are they going to do? Are they going to come out and say, if it's going to be like pro-Biden, is it going to be political? Number 1 is the first question. Number 2, how are they going to do it?
Yeah.
Which side's going to be which? And is Hollywood intentionally, this is the real question, and we know that they already, where they stand, are they intentionally going to have a huge movie in an election year to try to throw shade against the conservative party? That's the real question, and I got to see it.
So the thing about this is interesting. Like looking at A24 movies, and like, they did Moonlight, which definitely sort of a leftist film. They did Ex Machina, which was probably not leftist. I would actually say it leaned toward more libertarian in its scope. Everything, everywhere, all at once. No politics there, just crazy nonsense.
They don't have a lot of politics in their movies.
Yeah,
that's why it's. I'm not sure what's going to happen here.
If they go political though, like it's gonna be a failure.
I mean, the guy, the
might
writer,
be a critical
of this,
success, but it'll be a monetarily failure.
What makes this movie good is that the person who wrote it writes other dystopian type movies like 28 Days Later and Ex Machina and Annihilator. So it's one of those things where it'll be true to its form, regardless of what it says. And I think that's what's going to make the movie probably pretty good and interesting. The question is did it get by the studios, and was there any programming put in there? And I can't wait. It's something I think we're going to talk about quite a bit this year.
Yeah, the thing about this movie is if they were allowed to do their thing without direct studio involvement, without people's fingers, without studio execs' fingers in the pie like they have with these other movies they've been coming out with, then it might straddle that line and actually tell both sides of the story in a way that's compelling. And if it does, then it's a win.
And the writer and director is the same guy, which is important. So it's going to stay true to its whatever it wants to be. It's going to stay true to it. So that's good.
All right. So that's my number 5 too. Just a heads up. So
awesome. All right. On to number 4. Got to go prequel here, buddy. A Quiet Place Day One.
No.
Number 4 on my list.
No, come on.
I am a huge fan of the Quiet Place movies. I love John Krasinski. And I thought he did a really great job bringing us a different type of horror movie, science fiction movie, using sound as the problem. You had to be really quiet. And I thought they did a really great job in that first movie. The characters with Emily Blunt they were incredible. Second movie came along and I'm like, okay, we got a little peek at how it all began, a little tiny peek. And then it progressed forward in the movie, taking you forward. This is going to take you back to the beginning. It's going to explain to you how the aliens got there, what they're there for. It's going to answer a lot of questions. It's probably going to show what we all enjoy, which is the destruction of the planet, or, kind of that's the one thing we love about the 4th of July or Independence Day and some of these other movies is the assault on us. Right. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all breaks down. It is directed by Michael Sarnowski, even though John Krasinski wrote it. So it's going to have a different director. But why it's an anticipated movie for me is whether or not it's going to be good or not. I finally am going to get all the answers I wanted, which was how the hell did all this begin and where these things come from and what's the point, right?
Yeah. Why is Emily Blunt in it, but not John can't say his last name.
I don't think Emily's in this one.
According to the cast
Emily,
list,
Emily Blunt's not in this one, huh?
According to the cast list, I'm looking at the camera. A Quiet Place Day One. That has her.
I'm not seeing her on the list
as the cat in the cast.
Oh well, that's cool. I hope she is. Jamon Hounsou, who's in freaking everything these days, is in it. Listed, the main stars are listed as him, Alex Wolff, and Dennis O'Hare. Yeah. So I mean, if Emily, I would hope that Emily would be in it. John's not in it, which they were in the first movie together. So if he's not in it, I don't know. It doesn't make sense that she would be in it, but okay.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe a flashback. Lord Thoth has a good point.
That's probably the case. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, that's good.
That was my number 4, and that comes out on June 28th.
Yeah,
so.
another prequel. Unfortunately.
So it doesn't intrigue you? You don't want to know where the aliens came from?
No.
You don't know why they're there? Do you like dystopian movies?
No.
Oh, well, there you go.
I mean, I do. I do. If you,
no, you don't.
If you continue the story forward, I do. You know what the biggest problem with dystopian movies do? They never actually get to the part where humanity succeeds. It always ends on some dour
Maybe they
note.
shouldn't. Maybe
why not?
Society shouldn't succeed.
Why not? You're saying there shouldn't be some kind of inspiration? Aren't you a Star Trek fan? What? There should be.
I'm just
some
saying,
kind
like,
of
if I'm
hope,
watching,
dude.
if I'm watching a movie where everything's being destroyed, maybe the struggle is where the story is, not the success. When you watch The Postman, are you telling me the best part of the movie is at the end when they're putting everything back together? Fuck no. The best part of the movie
No.
is when the bad guy is making his life miserable.
But
That was the best part
nope,
of the movie.
I disagree. The best part of The Postman is when
Yeah.
Kevin Costner says, "A fucking enough is a fucking enough,"
Mhm.
and he starts rebuilding, not society, but he starts rebuilding the Postman. He starts.
Well, yeah, no,
setting up.
that's cool.
That's
but
the best
yeah.
part is when you have
Yeah.
that hope. When a couple of people stand up and say, "You know what? Screw this. We are going to fight back. We're going to do better. We're going to build a better place for the next generation, even if it costs us our lives." That's the best part. Not the part where everyone's dying and everything sucks. Who wants
Well,
to go to watch a movie
I would
about
argue that in an alien movie, perhaps the best part is trying to survive the aliens. So, ask Ellen Ripley then.
It always ended with her kicking ass, and you knew it was, which is why it was going to be so great. Every beating she got was just a little more motivation for her to kick ass.
All right.
That's why the movies were great. Same with Predator. Every loss, every L the good guy took, the good guys took, was just getting them a little closer to learning how to beat that thing.
All right. Now we get to learn the whole story.
Whatever.
What's your number 4?
My number 4 is a sequel. Can you guess what it is, Shane?
There's so many sequels. There's 8 sequels this year, so surprise me.
Well, this is a sequel that's been in the running for a long time.
All right. Oh, yeah.
Beetlejuice 2.
It has my intrigues up.
First of all, Michael Keaton is a goddamn genius. I love this guy so much. I've always loved Michael Keaton. I've loved everything about him. I wasn't even like a massive fan of the original movie. I liked it, whatever. I thought it was interesting that like it was a very very rich universe that they built with that movie. And I like the character of Beetlejuice, but I wasn't like a massive fan. But I do like the stuff we saw then that they couldn't do, that they tried to do with claymation and graphics and stuff. Like, we're gonna be able to see them tell the story if they do it right. A story that is completely uninhibited by the technology of that time. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I liked Beetlejuice. It's not a movie I'll watch over and over again, but it was good when it came out, and Michael Keaton was wonderful. We'll see what can come from. It's Burton's directing it, right?
Tim Burton, Winona Ryder, Michael Keaton.
So it's great. It'll be a continuation of that. We'll see if Michael Keaton still has it in him to bring back that character. And that's the problem is, as an older man now, it might be harder for him to bring the juice to Beetlejuice, so to speak. When we saw him in Batman, we saw him in The Flash. He kind of got us back to the Batman he used to be, but I just, it wasn't quite the same. So we'll see what happens here with this Beetlejuice movie. I'll definitely be watching it. Didn't make my list, but I want to see it for sure.
All right. What's your number 3, my dude?
Number 3?
Yeah.
Number 3 for me, Joker, Folie à Deux. Brian talked about it earlier. Joker 2, coming out October 4th. The reason why this movie is extraordinarily anticipated for me is, of course, same thing Brian said. So Joaquin Phoenix was awesome in it. Really, really enjoyed his performance, and I'm curious to see where it went. It was sort of a cliffhanger. We didn't know what was going to happen with the character after this. We did see a young Bruce Wayne, but what has me really intrigued about this movie, besides seeing him come back, is that Lady Gaga is playing Harley Quinn. And literally what Folie à Deux means is putting your crazy onto someone else.
Huh.
So this is going to be the story of how, I believe, the Joker turns Harley Quinn into Harley Quinn to some degree, or how that whole process takes place, or how they maybe infuse each other with this craziness, right? And where it progresses from there. Now, Lady Gaga, you don't see her in a ton of stuff But when she was in that movie with Bradley Cooper and was it Star is Born? What was it? No, it was
Star is
Born.
Yeah.
She was fantastic. Her acting was phenomenal. I think she can pull this thing off. And I think that she's going to get in there with Joaquin Phoenix and they're going to like metamorphize into something else. And I think it's going to be a pretty damn good movie. And I am extraordinarily excited to see it. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I that's pretty much the same reasons I have, except for I don't really care about her very much, but I know she's a good actor, so.
Yeah, and she's a great singer. So I don't know if there's going to be music in this. It's possible. I heard some rumors there might be a song.
I really hope there's not like a ton of like singing. If it's a musical, it's going to be disappointing to me.
Well, that Into the Shallow song that they did from A Star is Born was just haunting. It's one of those movies that like stuck with me for like a long time afterwards. So hopefully she can pull it off. Okay,
well, my number 3 is actually just came out. And if I have time tonight, I plan to watch it. And that is Argyle.
Argyle doesn't come out till February.
Argyle's already out.
Shouldn't be out. Comes out February 2nd.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just saw the ticket thing pop up. No, you can get pre-tickets. You're right. It doesn't come out to February. Yeah. It's funny. I can literally buy tickets right now.
That's cool.
No, but like in Google, which actually shocked me. And I thought to myself, I'm like, oh man, if I had the time, I'm 100% seeing this. Yeah, so Argyle was my number 3. I'm super stoked by this. It's starring Matt Vaughn. It's made by Matt Vaughn, who also made the Kingsman movies, which I absolutely adore. He made Layer Cake, X-Men First Class, Kick-Ass, which is another movie that took me off guard. I did not expect it to be so great. Recently he made Tetris. So like the guy, this is his signature style, man, is these kind of spy movies. That's his jam. And I liked all the Kingsman movies, even the prequel.
Wow. That's big praise.
Because it was different enough where it felt like a contained movie, and it didn't even though I knew that one character was going to live.
And you got to see the beginning of the Kingsman.
Yeah, I've said it before.
Which was cool.
The reason I hate sequels is because they're so often done so poorly.
Prequels.
You can do a prequel well and add to the existing lore and make it a better movie, but more often than not, it just waters it down and makes it worse. Argyle looks awesome. It's starring my boy Henry Cavill, with that ridiculous haircut of his that everyone's making fun of. I don't care. It's basically about a writer that accidentally starts writing the right things and adventures ensue. And that's pretty much it.
Awesome. My number 2 is Gladiator 2. That's right. Gladiator 2, a movie I thought would never get made. It's starring Denzel Washington, Pedro Pascal, Connie Nielsen, directed by Ridley Scott, who directed the first movie. And Gladiator is one of those movies that I'll throw on every 3 to 6 months and just watch. It's just one of those rewatchable movies over and over and over again. Incredible story. And for that reason alone, I'm intrigued to see where they're going to go, because this story is going to follow Lucius, the son of Maximus's love, Lucia, after Maximus's death. This is what happens afterwards. You've got Jamon is in this one again. You've got Denzel, you've got Pedro Pascal. Regardless of what you think about him, everything he's been in is, I've enjoyed watching him. So I'm really intrigued to see where this story goes, and I'm hoping, and I don't know if it'll be possible for it to grab you like that first one did when the character comes out and just basically Russell Crowe like rips through everybody and says, "Are you not entertained?" I mean, that's like a movie moment in all of movie moments, and it really set the tone. I don't know if they can accomplish that here, but I'm definitely anticipating it. Comes out November 22nd, so we have a long time to wait for it. But I can't wait to see what happened to Lucius.
So it's following. I'm sorry. So it's following like the wife.
No, it's following the son.
Oh, the son. Oh, I don't know why. I thought
the
Lucius was like a woman's name. I was like, I don't know who that is.
Lucilia was his mom.
Yeah, for some reason I was like,
the sister of
whatever his name. Yeah. So I thought
Julius
I was like, oh, so they're gonna be gender bending the gladiator? Like honestly,
no, I would not be on my
was that's what they're
anticipated
doing.
movies. If they were doing that, it would not be on my anticipated movie list.
Yeah.
What's your number 2?
Yeah, my number 2 is Ghostbusters: The Frozen Empire. I'm a massive Ghostbusters fan, and I really, really love the originals. I've watched them, I don't know, dozens and dozens of times. And when 2016 came out, I was extraordinarily disappointed. It was not remotely what I wanted in a Ghostbusters movie. It didn't feel like a Ghostbusters movie. It felt like, and I say it again, it just felt like, and it's funny that this is the joke because it actually had SNL like cast members in it, but it felt like an SNL like parody, like a joke, like something they would run as a Ghostbusters ad.
Right.
And then Ghostbusters Afterlife came out, and I got all those warm and fuzzies back, man. I fell in love with the new cast. I fell in love with Paul Rudd. You always fall in love with Paul Rudd. The guy's awesome. And then we got the original cast that came back at the end, and the ghost with the helping him, and it just one manly ass tear rolled right down my cheek.
A manly ass tear.
Yeah,
Nice.
right at the very end.
What's the difference between a manly
I'll
tear?
tell you, Bucko. I'll tell you, Bucko. Right at the very end, when that ghost wrapped up his granddaughter and helped her pull down the ghost. And save the world one last time. When we found out that he didn't run from his family, but that he was protecting the world from something that only he can protect them from. When we found that out, boy, I tell you what.
What's the difference between a manly tear and a woman?
A big, round, salty, sticky tear went like this, bro, and slowly rolled down my face. And then my wife looked at me and says, "You gotta take your diabetes medication because that's not normal." No, but in reality, man, the movie was for me. It hit all the spots. I know for a lot of people it didn't. I don't care. Hit all the spots. I saw it multiple times. It was really up there for me, and it wasn't perfect by all means, but it was definitely a Ghostbusters movie, and I had not seen a Ghostbusters movie since I was a kid, so it was really wonderful. And now we get to see the what I'm assuming is the next installment of that. It's coming with the same people, with the same cast, with the same director, right? Am I right? Same guy, right?
Is the same director doing it?
I believe it is.
I don't have it here.
And, it looks just as wacky as what you would think a Ghostbusters sequel should look like, so.
Yeah, I think Jason Reitman's still doing it.
Yeah, so I'm digging it, man.
It's cool.
I'm ready to watch it.
It was at number 11 for me. It almost made my list. I've seen the trailer, I think, one too many times now. Sometimes when I see a trailer too many times, it actually drops my anticipation for a movie. Although I still want to see it. I just am not excited about seeing it now. I know it'll show up and then I'll go watch it. And I'm curious to see how, Ernie Hudson is in the movie, how they incorporate the firehouse. It looks like there's almost this top of a building scene, almost like the original Ghostbusters movie where they're dealing with I can't remember the ghost name anymore, but yeah.
Stay Puft guy.
Yeah. The whole
Virgo?
Yeah, that scene right there.
Whatever.
Yeah. Gozer or whatever. It's very interesting to see. I'm definitely, it just was close on my list, and only because, I wanted to do some new stuff, but it could easily have made the list for me too.
All right. Well, that's my number 2. What's your number 1?
Number one, and there's a reason why this is number 1. Henry Cavill, Sam Rockwell, Bryan Cranston, Samuel L. Jackson, John Cena,
Argyle,
Bryce Dallas Howard. Argyle is my number one movie, anticipated movie, February 2nd. I have now seen the trailer about 18 times, which means I shouldn't like the movie anymore, but I just want to see it. And I'm so excited that it's coming out in a month because this is my number one anticipated movie of the year. It's going to be one of those things where anytime I get to watch Sam Rockwell, I just love it. And to see the way it's going to be incorporated where we get multiple badasses in this movie. So not only is Henry Cavill going to be a badass, but also Sam Rockwell is going to be a badass. And I'm very curious as how they incorporate Bryan Cranston and Samuel Jackson. And John Cena. I'm very excited to watch this movie. I think it's going to be fantastic. And I think it could very easily be the best movie of the year and lead to more because this is, what did you say earlier? Right up Matthew Vaughn's alley.
Yeah, it's right up
He's
there.
made nothing but great movies.
And I plan to buy tickets right after this. So,
all right.
Okay. That's a good number one, my friend. Right up there. It was right close to my top three for sure. My number one is Deadpool, and I'll tell you why. Not just because Ryan Reynolds is the GOAT, and he always makes me laugh. You know, he always entertains me, whether he's in a bad movie or a good movie. The guy usually gets me to a spot where I am having a good time. But yes, they're bringing Wolverine back one last time as Hugh Jackman.
Huge jacked man.
Finally dawns. The actual cool X-Men uniform. Do you know how long I have been waiting to see this guy, or a Wolverine, period, but specifically Hugh Jackman, to finally put on the yellow uniform? Bro, since X-Men started, when I was a wee lad, I kept waiting for this guy to put on the uniform. They never did it. And when Logan came out and he died, I was like, you know what? Great movie, but I'm just a little pissed off that we never got to see him in the yellow uniform. You know who made that work for us, though? Ryan Reynolds was like, fuck it, yeah, I want to see him too, so let's just bring this guy back. And the way he's doing it, and if he's following the comic books, the way he's doing it is not pure fan service. If he actually follows the comic book that I think he's following, and I'm going to stop right there. If he follows that comic book, it's not just fan service. It's fan service as a symptom of a greater story, or as an aside to a greater story. If he's going with the actual story I think he's going with, then it's going to be a massive shakeup for Marvel. And they're going to use this character to shake up the entire system that is crumbling around them in real time. And if they do that, I have so much respect for Ryan Reynolds if he manages to pull it off. And I would even develop a little more, at least a moniker of respect back for Feige for allowing him to say, fuck it, let's just do this. Because that would be the one thing that gets Marvel back on track, is if they let Deadpool officially fucking kill it.
Yeah.
And if they did that, it would be huge. And all these characters that we've been wanting to see for years coming back is actually part of that story. It would be a phenomenal, it would be a massive, step for Disney, for Fox, Marvel to make. And
well, I'll tell you, the one thing that is going to happen for Disney this year is this movie's going to make a shit ton of money.
Oh yeah.
So this is one they're not going to lose on. So.
Yeah. So all the people that hate Marvel, all the people that love Marvel, all the people that know nothing about Marvel, all the people that know nothing about how bad or good it is, all the normies, everyone's watching this movie regardless. Like this is that one movie that they're definitely,
everybody will show up for.
Everyone's going to show up. It's going to be a tentpole for sure.
Yeah.
Just a little quick little runner up here too, and not runner up, but this I'm not anticipating. This is a Netflix thing, but I thought you should see this. Beverly Hills Cop, Axel.
It's on my list.
Yep.
It didn't make it. It is an honorable mention for me as well. I'm very curious to see that. I like Beverly Hills Cop. I liked 48 Hours better, but I did like Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, I liked 48 Hours better too, but it was more graphic.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that Beverly Hills Cop had some characters that weren't just Eddie Murphy in it. But
yeah, Judge Reinhold is, some of the cops that got behind him. It was a good movie. Some of my other ones on there, The Beekeeper, which is coming out next week. I can't believe I have a Jason Statham movie near my top 10. Dune Part 2. I want to see how they finish it out. I think it's important that we see the end of it before we judge the whole thing, but we'll wait and see. The Fall Guy, which comes out May 3rd.
Yeah, Fall Guy.
I love the TV show. I'm very curious. Imaginary, a movie Brian I think might actually like, because it's a horror movie, but it's about somebody going back and their imaginary friend comes to life.
Yeah,
and that is those are the ones that almost made the list.
Yeah, here's what definitely didn't make the list for you or I or anyone, and it's not a good thing for Sony, is the Spider-Verse. There's actually 3 big Spider-Verse movies coming out this year. And you know what's really interesting about all these movies that are in the Spider-Verse? There's no Spider-Man.
I know. I know.
So you're talking about Kraven the Hunter, this guy. So that's coming out. Anyone hear about this yet? No?
Nope.
Oh, no. All right. No one's talking about this. All right, cool. Of course.
I have no anticipation.
Yeah, zero anticipation. I actually found out yesterday while researching this that there's a Venom 3 movie slated for
Yes, there is.
Yeah. And I love this. I love how some enterprising guy puts Spider-Man on the cover. Like, he's like, this is going to be Venom 3. Spider-Man isn't in the movie.
Not going to happen. Yeah.
Because if they did do a Venom Spider-Man movie, it would be in the same vein as Deadpool. It would be massive.
And remember remember the end of Venom 2.
Yeah, they keep promising it and then pulling it back away from us. So
yeah, so we got like touching their universes came together there for a moment.
Yeah, for just a second. Well, and he left a little part of them behind, if you recall.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But you know what's really interesting about that, and this is why we're never going to see Venom proper in the Spider-Man universe, is he left a little part of him behind, but Hardy didn't stay behind, who is the actual character. So you knew right then that it was it's just a cock tease, because we're never going to get actual Venom.
Or they knew that you never get Tom Hardy in it, at least. Right. Yeah.
And then also Madam Web. So 3 big Spider-Verse movies, and no one is caring about it, and there's no Spider-Man. So
that has a lot to do with it. And I'm not excited about Madam Web in the least. Hopefully it'll be a pleasant surprise. We'll see.
Yes, let's do some super chats here. We got a few. Thank you, my friends. I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning so I don't miss anything. First off, thank you for that. The member, my friend. I think we already talked about it. No Money G.
Yes, that was awesome.
And then let me get there real quick. Oh man, you guys are talking a lot of chat.
I can start with one here for you. The top one, Jeremy Schneider gave us a $5 just to be like, I'm cool. I'm Jeremy Schneider, and I'm giving you $5. Long time, wonderful fan. Thank you, Jeremy. Hope hope it's not too cold up there in Wisconsin for you.
Yeah, and Jeremy, my friend, sorry about your dog, bro. I feel your pain, my friend.
Yeah, that was sad.
Let me tell you a really quick joke. I actually heard a comedian say this.
I'm gonna tell you a quick joke.
I mean, no, it's because it's applicable. Okay. I heard a comedian the other day. He's like, "Listen, when I first watched John Wick, I was like, yeah, I guess it's a fun movie, but it's so unrealistic. Who would go like kill a bunch of guys for their dog?" And then I got a dog. And then I saw John Wick 2, and he killed like 18,000 people, and I was like, that's so fucking realistic.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, man. Yeah, thank you for that, Jeremy. And Chappie coming through with the $15. He says, this should have been a sequel to Hitch, but he's now a wizard helping honkies find true love.
the movie about magical Negroes. Yes, Chappie, that's hilarious. He is helping honkies find true love. And I'll tell you what's really funny about it is, I really hope that is funny, actually. I'm kind of hoping the movie's humorous, but also has a message. So we'll have to see what happens. But yeah.
Do you remember this, my friend? This little movie that came out with Will Smith. It was called Hancock.
Oh, yeah.
So this movie, interesting enough, was actually supposed to be a whole franchise.
I know.
And a really cool premise. A couple aliens, they get close together, they lose their powers. Really cool premise. There's weaknesses and strengths. They're basically Superman. Fun movie. Charlize Theron is awesome in it. And the reason it's not a franchise is because of Will Smith.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone, like you had Jason Bateman was like peak Jason Bateman that movie. He's dealing with this super powered alcoholic, and he's like, "Hey man, hey, can you stop breaking down my fucking wall?" Like, peak Jason Bateman. Charlize Theron was great in it. Even Will Smith, everyone was great. Great movie. Good enough, I should say, not great. Made a bunch of money. But Will Smith was at this level where he thought he needed to be where Keanu Reeves was because he passed on The Matrix.
Yeah, that hurt. He knows that he felt that.
And the only way he would do another one is he asked for like this an amount of money that was like basically made the project impossible, and that's why it didn't happen. Making bad choices, bro. Coincidentally, it's also when he married his wife. Go figure. Anyways,
he's a bad choice maker. He's the luckiest dude on the planet who fell into some shit, has a lot of charisma and some talent. Just makes terrible choices.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I really want to see a sequel to that. Hey, we got Chappie again for $5. It says, what would save Will Smith's career? Divorcing his wife.
Yeah, he needs
his wife.
A mentor. He needs a mentor that is not Jada Pinkett Smith. He needs to take a look at how Kevin Hart runs his life and just fucking emulate that. Like, have you ever watched Kevin Hart and like how he operates? Like, he had a little show like about him during COVID, where it actually went through like how he does his day and how he does his meetings and what he's into. Will Smith needs to attack that instead of making it about his little family or some weirdness that he's got his little like cult he's created there. He needs to, work on making himself a better person.
Yeah, but that starts with him divorcing his wife. His wife is an absolute toxic piece of human excrement, and he needs to divorce himself of her immediately, and then go find a wise older guy that he trusts, and start making some movies where he shows a little grit, and maybe
go back to like the King Richard stuff. Start choose roles. Think about your great movies. Think about your Pursuits of Happiness. Think about not Men in Black, not Bad Boys, not all those. If you really want to be, Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman, then start doing Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman stuff.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Rec Thoughts for $5. Thank you, Rec. He says a movie about Civil War sort of has to be political by nature. Yes. But I think when we say we're political, I think we're saying one-sided. If it's political and both sides are properly represented, then great.
Well, like, what's the point of the movie? Like, is there a point? Is there a point that all this is ridiculous? Or is it slanted towards one side? I think you're right. It has to be political by nature. But what I'm intrigued about is who's telling this story and what's their agenda. If it's an agenda that's like, y'all are all ridiculous, then that's the point I want to see. I don't want to see one side really become victorious to the other. The point needs to be that Civil War is stupid. And find common ground. If
there's a winner, then we all lose.
Well said.
Chappie for $2. Thank you, Chappie. He says, I want to see Henry Cavill in something epic. I don't know, like Warhammer 40K? How about that?
Oh, yeah. He's going to be great in that, dude.
Bro.
I can't. You want to talk about anticipated? Yeah.
Okay. There is no, like, that will always be, when that movie is announced, whatever year is coming out, that will be the number one on my list, period, the end. Yeah. Warhammer 40K with Henry Cavill. Holy moly, macaroni. I can't wait for that. That's great. When they announced it, I was like, wait, this is not. Yeah. What? That's not possible.
I hope we get a whole new, like, Conan the Barbarian-esque, thing to it. It'll be so cool.
When they announced it with Henry Cavill, I was like, am I asleep right now? Like, what's happening right now?
He's a huge fan. He absolutely is a huge fan. So it's like,
which makes it better. He's perfect for it, and he's actually collecting these figures. He has like a whole room full of them. That's
right.
Come on.
Well, and so The Witcher, he was a huge fan of The Witcher, and Chappie for $2. Thank you, Chappie. The Witcher should have been that vehicle. 100% true. So the fact that he hasn't satiated that thing by doing The Witcher, and now he wants to do this other project that he's really into, just means that what The Witcher should have been is what this next IP is going to become.
Well, what happened was a bunch of Netflix hired a bunch of and I'm sorry to say it's not sexist, this is just facts. They hired a bunch of female writers. No joke. It was a 98% female writing staff and showrunners to run The Witcher seasons 2 and 3. And not only did they not have any interest in the game, they didn't know the source material. They didn't care about it. All of the information was coming from whatever was set up in season 1, and they kept trying to get Henry Cavill naked in a bath. Constantly. He complained about it over and over again. He refused to be on set around women when they were in a bad state of dress, unless it was part of his scene. He wouldn't talk to people. He wasn't friendly. He kept going. They called him toxic because he would go to when he wasn't working, he would go to his trailer and play video games instead of socialize. They hated him because he was literally the character and the audience. That was the purpose of that show.
Yeah.
And if you're the person in charge of the show and writing it, and you not only hate the star of the show who's playing the exact character from the game, you also hate the guy because he's a fan of. He would go and play Witcher when he was off. You hated the fact that he played the video game. That means you hate the IP and the customer. You shouldn't be involved in that then. You shouldn't have been hired to do that job. I don't understand why Netflix even hired you in the first place. It's just it's a crazy. That's why Witcher fell.
Well said. So that's all of our super chats. Awesome stuff. Let's do some weekly news of the weird.
Weekly news of the weird. Okay, so first I'm going to play this and I'm going to tell you why I'm playing it. Here we go. Oh, no sound. Price. Okay, here we go.
This song is from the soundtrack of a movie called Tenet. Anybody see this shit? Did anybody see this besides me? Because I need a manual. Someone's got to explain this. Yeah, I'm not kidding. What the fuck was going on in that movie? Do you understand? Seriously, you need to be a neuroscientist to understand. And that's 2.5 hours of my life that I want back. I want it back.
Okay, so just to be clear, that is a Peloton instructor. And if you are wealthy enough to have a Peloton bike, they actually have like these, like you sit on your bike and you do like a virtual class with some instructor. And they play music and they talk to you and they tell you what to do on your bike. And this instructor went on a tangent about the movie Tenet because the stupid music was playing.
Did it say that she was his Peloton instructor?
No.
I don't know if that's true.
And this is the part that's hilarious. Christopher Nolan, the guy who made Tenet, was just randomly in her class.
Oh, no way.
And she realizes close to the end, bro, when she looks at she's looking at like names and she's like, "Oh, that's funny." Didn't think anything of it because she came out with a statement afterwards, like yesterday.
Yeah.
Because this article from Variety came out, and Christopher Nolan was in that class randomly doing his exercises when she goes on that tangent. And to it,
that is great. Because I couldn't agree with her more, Brian.
Yeah,
she's 100% freaking right. Tenet was a terrible movie.
It's a terrible movie. Yeah, it's funny because like this is like one of his favorite movies, which is like makes it even worse somehow.
Yeah, I want that 2 hours back as well. I feel her.
So to his credit, though, what he said was, directors have a complex emotional relationship with critics and criticism. A question we're all asked is, do we read reviews? Let's start with the fact that I'm British.
That's actually a good comeback.
A typical family gathering will involve relatives saying to me, "You know, Christopher, you should
Go ahead.
you probably shouldn't open up The Guardian today." He goes on to say, "I was on my Peloton, I'm dying, and this instructor started talking about one of my films, and I said, 'Did anyone see this? There's a couple of my lives I can never get back.' No one said, when Rex Reed takes a shit on your film, he doesn't ask you to work out." In today's world where opinions are everywhere, there is sort of an idea that film criticism is being democratized. But I for one think that critical appreciation of films shouldn't be an instinct, but it should be a profession. Now he goes on to say, he has a very good sense of humor about this. And it's funny because the second this article dropped, someone found the footage, and then she came out and he actually addressed her by name. He's like, I forgot her name. It's Jen something. And he's like, you know what? If Jen Sherman or Shermer, doesn't like my movies, that's okay. I liked your classes.
Oh, that's class. I love that about him. And honestly, I give Christopher Nolan a pass on Tenet because he's made so many great movies.
Yeah.
So, listen, Interstellar, well, honestly, he can make 3 bad movies, I think, and I'll still be okay because he made Interstellar. So,
yeah, I get that.
Great weird news story today.
Yeah, I thought it was great. And I'm not going to play her old clip. You can go look it up. It's on Discussing Films. She actually does like a follow-up where she talks about, I didn't even know he knew my name. That's pretty awesome. To be fair, I like his other movies. I just didn't like that one.
Yeah, no, that's great. I would love to take a class. I mean, it might be more interesting to exercise if I'm listening to somebody talk shit about stuff for like an hour.
Yeah, you have like a $22,000 Peloton bike?
I don't.
Yeah, you need that.
Oh, so that wasn't in person. That was online, right? Because they do it online.
Right. So the Peloton bike is a virtual class. So you're on this bike. It has a big screen, and it's basically like a virtual, spin class.
Interesting. So she has no idea who's watching her stuff, and she says that. That's brave.
We got some super chats on the member side too. We need to address before we go to the member section.
Yeah, and I think when we go to the member section today, we'll talk about. We're just going to talk about some of interesting news. There's a little bit of Star Trek news, some streaming news,
some Marvel news.
And we're going to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. So if you haven't signed up to be a member, please come over and join us, and you can do that by hitting the join button right after this.
Okay, John Burns for 279. He says, "I'll watch the Magic Negroes movie. Love Dave A.G. Dag. Yeah, I love Dag too. I'm glad he was able to make a comeback because there was a minute there because he's like a Republican, right?
Yeah,
he's a conservative Republican guy, and there was a minute there where he wasn't getting any work because his association with the wrong side of history, whatever they want to call it.
True.
Also, Yoran Falv, member for 14 months. Thank you, Yoran. I appreciate it, my friend. John Burns also says 279. Civil War movie, California and Texas join forces. Yeah, that was the most unbelievable part of it.
What? Yeah, maybe it will be fiction.
Yeah, that's obviously fiction because name 2 states that can't be, any more different and hate each other more
politically.
Yeah. For Brett Walker for $10, thank you, Brett. It's just a sticker. It's just a cool sticker of a cute dog saying LOL. Thank you, Brett.
Nice. Thank you.
Kenneth the Rogue for 32 months member. My God, bro.
Come on.
My God, bro.
That's what I'm talking about. Consistency, baby.
Yes. All right. And John Burns, 279, says Will Smith passing the Matrix for Wild Wild West. That is correct.
It's like one of the great movie stories. I love that one. Thank you, John.
To make it even worse is that the producer of Wild Wild West also was supposed to make a Superman movie where Superman fought a giant spider, and they basically wouldn't make. He's the reason the Nicolas Cage Superman movie didn't happen because he was so weird. He went on to do Wild Wild West, and guess what? Giant spiders. Yeah.
And I love that Will Smith can laugh about it and be like, yeah, I chose something else.
Yeah. I mean, when he laughs, so it's like this, yeah, man. It's not, I don't think it's a real laugh. I think it's like, fuck.
It's like a seminal moment in movies. Can you imagine Will Smith in The Matrix, and then Keanu Reeves just never becomes anything?
Yeah, like what would Keanu?
That was his vehicle.
He would just go on and make more Bill and Ted's excellent movies.
No, well, they didn't though. That's the thing is like they eventually made the one, but I don't know what would have happened.
No, I mean if he hadn't have become a big star, he would have probably kept making those shitty B movies.
Maybe, yeah.
John Burns again says movies Civil War has to be political by you're right. We already talked about that. You're right. John Burns and M29, Brian, you shouldn't read The Guardian.
That is true. Oh, we got one more here from Doomed Huff for $5. Patrick Stewart says a script is being written for him to be in a new Star Trek movie.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in the members section. And by the way,
well, yeah, just because Patrick Stewart believes.
No, let's keep it in the members section. Okay.
Well, we got Doomed gave $5.
Okay, you're right.
We got to do it here a little bit. Let's put it this way: there's a lot of scripts being written that never get made.
Right.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll leave it at
and
that.
Patrick's old, so there's a lot of placating going on with Patrick. We'll talk about it in the member section.
By the way, guys, you see, I actually checked the
good job
member section tonight. Yeah, I'm pretty good. All right, guys, listen, we are going to the member section. It's great over there. There are two ways to join us. You can click on the link below, wait for it to end, or you can click on join. And either way, whether it's the Popcast Prime or here on the new Pop Culture Unleashed, either way, it's the same exact show, same content. You can join either channel. And so, if you're not a member, consider hitting that join button. We're going to be talking about Star Trek, 2 Star Trek stories, the Orville, big stuff. And I got one more weekly weird to share with you guys that was a little too risque for the public section. Plus, this other story was too great not to talk about.
It's too risque.
So, guys, come on down. I'm going to leave you with something hilarious. Let's see if I can find something hilarious to leave you with. And the second I end this, it's going to take me about literally like 45 seconds to a minute tops to start up the other one. And whether you're in that one or the Prime, which is going on right now. Come on down. Shane, got anything to say before we leave?
Nope. We appreciate you guys. We love you. Appreciate you guys who donated to the Stream Hero. Chappie definitely won it. We'll see what we can do for you. We are coming out with a new thing where we got to make at least $50 in our super chats in order to be able to send out a product to you guys. So we'll be kind of doing that in the future. If we kind of meet that requirement, then we'll be sending something out. If not, we'll probably hold it over and just hold your points for a following episode. So we're trying to figure out how to do that, but unfortunately we can't cost us more than we make to send it out. And YouTube, of course, as you know, takes almost half of it.
And it has been costing more.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll see you in the members section, my friends.
See you guys later.
No, that's not the right one.
After show starting.
Nothing is impossible.
That's the
Just
wrong one too.
Oh, got to do.
This is
do it.
Crazy things happen at the end of the show
Click
here.
on the wrong thing.
Do it.
Just take it out.
Yes, you
Which
can.
one do I click? Which one do I
Just
click?
do it.